And when you think of breast cancer, you probably think of women, but men can get it too. We have Dr. Eric Gridge joining us with the details on that, along with a male breast cancer survivor. This is Mr. Lawrence Look, we went through it like 5 times and I'm still messing up. Joyson.
That's right.
Lawrence Joyson.
That's right.
And thank you guys for joining us today. And Mr. Joyson, we want to hear your story.
Well, male breast cancer, for one thing, is rare for men. And the rarity of it is, you don't hear about it. I didn't know nothing about it until I found out for myself. Small lump on my breast. And after a while, I've been having about 2 years. And after a while, it began to grow. And so at that time, my wife was in the hospital, so I decided, let me go check and see what's going on. And I was at UMC. And I went over there, and everything they needed to do for me that day, they did it. They did the x-rays, they did the mammogram, which is very difficult for a man to do. Mm-hmm. They did the mammogram and the biopsy. And the biopsy, they took a part of it. And what they do with the biopsy is that they take a piece of metal, and place it on that tumor so it won't move. And they determine it's breast cancer.
Now, what were you thinking before then? Did you have any idea that's what would come back?
No. What happened was I went on the internet to find out what could be causing this. And there were many things. So I just said, no, it's growing too fast now. Let me go check on this. And I did. And I went over there to, like I say, UMC, and Dr. Rinker, head of the breast cancer, fantastic. He is just awesome. And they treat you physically, but they also treat you mentally, because it can be fear for some people to have breast cancer, because we used to say the word cancer, people think of death. That's not how it is. And he told me everything was going to be done, and told me the surgery was going to be like 4.5 hours. And the recovery was 1 day. I went there, they removed the whole breast. And it took about 4.5 hours to do that. And he watched about 1.5 hours after that, and I went home. But now, after that, they have a scale that they judge you up on. I believe it's from 1 to 12, and from 13 to 20, and then from like 20 to like 34. That scale determines the possibility of the breast cancer returning. Even though my scale was very low, which was an 8, and the possibility is very low, it doesn't mean that it won't return. It just means the possibility is very low.
And Dr. Gridge, tell us about that. I mean, with your male patients, do you have to be a little bit more aggressive about saying, hey, this is something you need to be on the lookout for?
Well, the incidence of breast cancer in men is less than 1%. So it's not something that guys typically think about. In Mr. Joyson's case, he just so happened to be wary enough to know that there's a lump, there's a mass that won't go away. Now, if you have a history of breast cancer in your family, particularly BRCA1 and BRCA2 in your family, if your risk for breast cancer as a male increases with alcohol. The more intensely you drink, the more likely you are to be diagnosed. But again, it's less than 1%. Only 480 men, 2,200 are diagnosed and 480 might die. The problem is that because people don't know to look for it, it can get to later stages. Mr. Joyson was blessed in that it hadn't spread. There was no metastasis. So it's something that you really have to tell guys to really be on the lookout for, because it's not something that they typically screen.